Sisterhood Podcast. We are your hosts, Maddie and Kate, and we are here to chat about all things motherhood, faith-infused entrepreneurship, and lots of real life.
We want you to leave feeling loved, encouraged, and a whole bunch of excitement for where the Lord has you right in this moment. We are so glad you are here.
So grab your coffee, matcha, tea, whatever makes you happy, and let's hang out and indulge in some joyful conversations.
Welcome back to the podcast. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing great. Caitlin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You know, I've been in a little bit of rare form today, to be honest. I spilled my coffee in my car and almost walked out of the house without my laptop. And there's a lot of other things. My child is sick. So it's a lot
after another. Yeah.
Oh, and did I mention my dog's sick too? So I was up in the middle of the night with him and my child last night. So I feel like I'm back in the newborn stage.
Yeah, no, that I'm sure you're exhausted. I'm tired too, but not from having to be up 2 nights in a row now. So
yeah, for real. But it's okay. I'm good.
Yes.
I'm ready for this episode.
Me too. So today we are going to dive into what it's like to be ministry minded and how to integrate faith into your business. This is something that Caitlin and I are so passionate about. And if you follow us on social media or you've just been listening to us for the first few episodes, you know that we talk about this a lot.
Yes.
So we can't wait to have some good conversations with you today, and let's get started.
Okay, let's do it. So back in episode 5, we talked about our whys and the reason why we do what we do. And if you haven't listened to that, you should definitely go listen to it before you even listen to this episode, because it is full of the good stuff. But we basically just talked about our whys and the fact that the purpose behind what we do is solely for Jesus, and that we run our business with Jesus at the forefront so that we are doing what we're called to do. And so we believe that every decision that we make, everything that has to do with our business needs to be faith-based, because that's what we believe in. And we believe that the Lord will bless our business the most and use us the most when we do that. So yeah, I definitely go listen to that episode on What's Our Why, because it's got the good details in it.
For sure. We encourage you to go listen to that, because we talk about, what our why is, but also how you can discover your why, which we believe is super important.
Yes.
Okay, so we're just going to dive in. Now that you know what our why is and that we are ministry minded in our personal lives, but also in how we run our business, let's talk about how has it always been easy to run a faith-based business? Have there been obstacles in running a faith-based business? And have you just faced any, issues when it comes to running a faith-based business?
And before we dive into this, just to let you know, if you are not a believer and this is not something that you necessarily resonate with, we would love to still have you listen, just because we want you to get to know us and we want to have you here and love you and maybe give you a new perspective on the way that you can run your business. And so basically, we're going to jump into, has it been easy? The answer is a yes and a no for me.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't really think that the business and the faith, it's not that I didn't think that they could go together. It's just that I was not really focused on that, I guess. And as my business evolved, I realized the two of those things could go together. And at the point when I realized that, I was like, okay, but are people going to judge me? What if not everyone is a Christian? And what if I offend somebody? Or those thoughts went through my head. And when you first start a business, your intention is okay, I need to build relationships and all of this stuff. And in reality, the clients that I wanted to bring on are the people that I could love and that I could serve. And whether or not those were Christians didn't matter to me. It was just, who can I love and who can I serve? And so when I started running my business and putting things on my website and social media about Jesus, it started out very low key, because I didn't know, I really honestly just didn't know where all I could do that. And at the time, I think I was still learning that like I am my own brand. And so as I evolved, it got a lot easier because I am a Christ follower and I love the Lord. And it was really easy for me to just slowly evolve into this person who that's what I talked about because that's who I am, because I am my brand. Yeah. And so kind of hard at the beginning just to figure out where to like, weave it in. But then once I got going, now it's like all I talk about.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. I started my business, if you listen to episode 5, but also another episode where I talk about, from the very beginning, I knew that I wanted to start a ministry, and that just so happened to be photography. So from the very beginning, I started a very ministry-minded business. And there has been instances where it's been hard, and I've had that doubt of, like you said, am I going to offend someone? I'm just like you are. We like to please people, and we don't want to like step on anyone's toes. We just want people to like feel loved all the time.
Yes.
And yeah, that's our personality. And so a lot of times there's that insecurity of, am I going to hurt someone's feelings by, showing up as who I am? But I think the more you grow and the more you evolve, like you said, is you learn that like, I am my brand. You are your brand. And I preach that to the people that I get to mentor.
Yeah.
They're always like, I want these dream clients and I want to shoot all over the country. And they always say the same things. And I'm like, okay, the way you do that is you build a business on who you are.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
You don't want to be someone else. You want to be who you authentically are, because you're going to attract people. You're going to attract your ideal client, and truly your ideal client is who you are. And so I tell them that all the time. Like Caitlin said, I also believe that I don't want people to feel like there's not a seat at the table here for them. Not just with this podcast, but also in our businesses, that if you aren't a Christ follower, that you're out. No, not at all. That we want you here even more, because we want you to just feel so incredibly loved. And you don't have to be a Christ follower to be our clients or listen to this podcast or anything like that.
Yeah, this is a come as you are zone.
For sure.
We love you no matter what you are, who you are, what you believe. It doesn't matter. We run our business in a way that we love people. And that's a big part of our faith, is we love because Jesus loves. And we don't believe in like not attracting people who don't know the Lord.
Yeah.
Because I mean, maybe we'll find common ground.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Exactly. For sure. And so there has been obstacles where I have, had conversations where, the couple for their wedding was just like, maybe we're not the best fit. And I felt the same way. Like, maybe we aren't the best fit, not because they're not a Christian, but because we couldn't see eye to eye on some things. But I love those conversations. I used to hate them.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I used to be like, oh, those conversations are not welcome here because anxiety. But now I like welcome those conversations, because I love when clients are just like honest with me and say, you know what, you're just not the right fit for us. And for me, sometimes I have had to say that, like, I'm not going to be the best choice for you because we're not the best fit.
Yeah.
And it's just having those like honest conversations with yourself, but also with your clients, and like you want your clients to feel like they can just be honest with you if, there are some things where they just we can't find common ground sometimes.
Right.
And so that might be like, I guess you could say, an obstacle. It's not something that was like the end all be all of like, oh, well, didn't book them. Now I'm upset and I can't do it ever again. It's not that. It's just, I guess, a learning curve, and knowing how, they didn't book me for this reason. So how can I still love them? And I guess like through that, and then them not wanting to book me, and how can I be better, I guess.
Yeah. And another thing I would say, you will face obstacles when it comes to your beliefs, because some people just simply don't want to be around or don't want to I don't know, work with someone who doesn't believe the same things as them. But I will say there's another side of it that comes with the flesh in us.
Yeah.
And there have been parts of my business where I have experienced things that have frustrated me, that have immediately brought me anger, or just there's been many different instances where that's happened. And I have to try to back my flesh up and be like, okay, Caitlin, you need to hold off before you respond, or else you're not going to show Jesus to that person. And there's been multiple times where I've had to send a text or send an email or send whatever. And the first thing I did was text or call Maddie and be like, Maddie, I'm so angry right now. I can't believe this happened. I can't believe they said that. I can't believe insert whatever situation. And at the end of the day, we always wind up coming back to, okay, Caitlin, okay, Maddie, like we have to be Jesus to these people no matter what. And so it can be hard when you do integrate faith into your business.
Oh, for sure.
Because your immediate human reaction sometimes is not to be nice. It's not to be loving, but you have to take a step back and like truly love those people, even when you don't like what the situation holds.
For sure. I think a lot of times when we've had those hard conversations where maybe there was a client that wasn't happy, or we got not such a nice email. There's been times, I mean, as humans, our first reaction is not to be like, oh, I love you so much. It's to be like, okay, you question my character. Now my pride is here. And you have to fight that battle of, this is my pride, drop it, don't respond. It's not a good, responding in anger and hurt is not good. You have to take a step back, and that all comes with knowing who you are in the Lord and knowing that you run your business in a way that is ministry minded, and knowing that every decision, every conversation, every email you send, it reflects not only on you, but it reflects on the Lord. And if we were to respond in anger, because there's been times where I really wanted to respond in anger. I've been like, oh, heck no, you are not going to say that. You're not going to talk to me like that. Because we are all humans and we struggle with, like Caitlin said, with the flesh. And it's a constant battle. But if we choose to remember that we are ministry minded, our business is on mission for Jesus, and we want every decision, every action that we do in this business and in life in general to always point back to Jesus. It's hard, but are not hard all the time. There's just instances where, you get in that situation and you're like, okay, Jesus, I love you, but I really just want to say this, so.
Yes. I back up all of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be so hard, but it's worth it to love other people through your business with a faith-based back end, because it helps keep you keep you in your zone of okay, Caitlin, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't say that.
Yeah, there's been times where I remember there's one instance that I'm thinking of, and I don't have to go into detail, but I just remember as soon as I saw the email, I busted into tears. And I wanted to, when I tell you, if I would have responded to this email instantly, it would have been like, bleep, bleep, bleep. You're not talking to me like this. And I was like, yep, Maddie, suck it up. We are not doing that today. And from that instance specifically, by my response, I had to drop my pride and just, I wanted that client to leave with the best taste in their mouth.
Yep.
Whether what I did, I believed was wrong or not, I didn't care. I had to let it go and be like, you know what? I showed Jesus. I want them to learn something through this. And the only way they're going to learn something is if I send an email that is honoring to them and show that I love them and I want to put them first, and I'm going to do whatever it is to make this situation right. And that held so much weight with the client. I remember they just did not expect that type of response, and it just spoke so much more volume than if I would have literally sent back this super rude email
or just ignored it because you were angry.
Right. And just been like, screw it. If I would have done that would not have shown Jesus. They would have left with a bad taste in their mouth about Christians in general because of how their experience with me was. So you definitely, when you run your business, faith-based, you're fighting a battle of, it's not just you. It's not just me, Maddie. It's not just Caitlin. Like, it is the reflection on the Lord. And so it can be hard, but I feel like there's a lot of beauty in it at the beginning, like the whole time. I feel like the parts that are hard are very far and few between,
Yeah, absolutely. So you've heard us talk a little bit about like why we integrate faith into our business, kind of like how we do that and everything. But we want to share some tangible ways so that you, if you've never done this before, you can integrate faith into your business, or just in general, integrate a loving atmosphere into your business. Because at the end of the day, we are, specifically me and Maddie, are service-based. But even if you are product-based or whatever you do, you can be loving. And so that's what we want to do. That's what we want you to do, because we truly believe that it's a reflection on you and who you are. And so one of the main ways, one of the most tangible ways that you can integrate your faith into your business is to be open on social media and your website and all the places where people can see you on the internet. So on Instagram, on Facebook, on your website. What's something else? What else can we be? On YouTube is one place that I occasionally like to do that on. Just really any like social media outlet or anywhere where someone is going to get that first initial like perception of you. You want them to be able to like go and click on your social media or your website or whatever and know, oh, okay, she loves people. She's a Christ follower.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I definitely think like as soon as someone goes to your social media or your website, like you want them to know there's something different about you. And it's not because your photos look better. It's not about because your words are better. It's because there's just something different in Caitlin or myself, or if you were running a faith-based business, or just loving people and knowing that your why is because you want to put people first. You want those people, those clients, to go as soon as they research you, to like just inquire with you. They know that you put people first, you love people well, and that makes them want to book you regardless of your work. And so like Caitlin said, being super open on social media, website, all those things. For me, I do it in a few different ways. I would say, on my website specifically, I have a prayer box where people can like put prayers if they have something they need prayed for. It's like anonymous. Like I'm not over here posting it all over social media. It's just for a safe place for them to, say, I need prayer and here it is. Sometimes I even have people be like, I don't need a response. I just need to put it out there. And I have had, and I tell you, like, I started this on my Instagram as soon as I started my business. I remember
I copied her.
It's okay. I love this copy.
And since then, a lot of people have a
lot of people, which I love. Like, I do not care if people copy me with this, because this, there's not enough. There's so much room to go around for prayer, right? Like, you don't need one photographer being like, oh yeah, you need prayer.
Yes.
Yeah. So I remember from the very beginning, before I really even had clients, I remember putting on my Instagram story a question box and just being like, how can I pray for you today? And I've gotten so many DMs and just responses on those. And as like just doing it, I have gotten deeper and deeper and deeper with people on social media that I've never met. But I remember like one instance, this girl put in there that we had been like in conversation, and she, like, we talk all the time now, but and she would not mind me sharing this, but she was talking about, I remember like from the beginning of her putting it in here, in giving me her prayer request, I remember her saying, I've been struggling deeply with like anxiety and suicide and all those things. And it led to, then one day I posted another question box asking for prayer. And I remember her putting in there, seeing this today, I wanted you to know, like, this week has been a really terrible week. And like, I thought this was it for me. And I remember just being like, okay, this has gotten way bigger than myself. But also I remember saying to myself, what if I wouldn't have, you know, just loved people and just put it out there? Like, here's a spot for you to have a safe place and be able to just open up to me, because you might not have someone else. And it doesn't even have to be like a prayer request box, but just be like, if you want to chat, let's chat. Like, let's just chat about life. You know, there's things that you can do that just make people know that you want to love them wherever they're at. And they don't have to show up as some other person. Like, they can show up just as they are. So
another way that I actually tangibly do this is I send a note every single time a wedding client books me. I send a note to their address along with a gift that basically is just like, hey, thank you so much for booking me, yada, yada, yada. I give them all like the kind words. And then at the end, I always say, I'm praying for you guys. And that's just like a little tiny way of showing them like, hey, I do what I say. I do what I represent myself as on social media. Like, I'm not just saying it on social media. I want to tangibly handwrite it so that you know I pray for you. And every single time I send one of those gifts, I pray over those clients. And then up until the wedding day, I pray over those clients. And it doesn't always have to be seen. You can do it in private, and that matters. And so even on the way to your weddings, on the way to your sessions, on the way to your things, as you are creating your product, whatever business you run and whatever you are doing for clients, you can pray over them as you're making it or doing it or on the way there or whatever. And so that's another big way. And then lastly, we just kind of like show up on our stories and we're not afraid. And that is like the biggest advice we can give you is you can put it in your captions on social media. You can put it all over your website. You can talk about it in your stories. But the number one thing is just to not be afraid to do it. The Lord has given you the ability to be brave. And if you just take that and run with it, He is going to speak through you, and you don't have to be afraid. Even if you're afraid that someone's going to come into your DMs and like say something negative to you, that's okay. It's okay to get those comments. I've gotten those comments on my posts, in my DMs, like, oh, you're one of those girls. And I'm like, you know what? Yes, I am. And I'm proud of it. And so the biggest thing that we can tell you is to be brave and just do it, because the Lord is going to honor the heck out of it.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything Caitlin said, for sure. Just do it. Do not be scared. Don't think that your business is going to be less than, or you're not going to make money, or it's not going to be profitable or anything like this. Like, it will be. The Lord is going to honor it. And yeah, I mean, I hope that you took something away from today. People always ask me in mentorships, like, what makes your business different and how can I grow as fast as you did?
Yep.
And I always say, I'm like, you're not going to love my answer, because it might not be like, okay, you need to have this marketing plan. No, it's not that. It is show up as yourself and love the heck out of people.
Yep.
And Jesus. Like, those are the things that have made my business from where it is to where it was to where it is now. And I believe that if you run your business in that way and you just purposely love people so well, you're going to be different in their eyes, and they're going to see that. And that is going to speak volumes way past, just their wedding or you sending them a pair of earrings or something like that. Whatever you do, it's going to be way past that specific moment in time. It's going to be when they're looking back on their wedding photos, in 10 years, they're going to just remember that experience. Or they're also going to invite you in to their life and get to photograph, for me, that's what Caitlin and I do. We were photographers. So we get to photograph. I mean, it's the coolest thing when people just had such a great experience with me, not because they got great photos, but because they just loved who I was and they loved how I loved them, that they want to invite me in to their life after their wedding. And I get to shoot their pregnancy announcements and their kids' weddings sometimes. And just like all their different seasons of life that they have invited me into, that is such an honor. And so whatever you're doing, I encourage you to just love people well. If you are a Christ follower, I encourage you to run a faith-based ministry and not be scared, like Caitlin said.
Yes.
And it's going to be so worth it. I promise.
Yes. Run your business for Jesus, and Jesus will bless the heck out of you. Yes. We are so thankful for y'all. Thank you so much for listening today. We could not be more thankful for you and the fact that you are here and that you want to run your business like we do and that you want to learn from us. And we just want to say thank you. And we hope you're having the best day.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next Wednesday. We love you guys. Bye.
We had so much fun getting to hang out with you today, and we hope that you are feeling encouraged, loved, and full of purpose.
If you've enjoyed today's podcast episode, we would absolutely love it if you would write us a review so that we can hear how we encouraged you. And if you haven't subscribed, go do that right now. Also, you can join the sisterhood by finding us on Instagram at The Refined Sisterhood.
Okay, friend, we hope you have the best week, and we will see you in the next episode.